It's always a good idea to kick off a new month on Xbox with a fresh round of savings, and July's first batch of deals and discounts is looking pretty sweet.
Let's kick things off with the all-ages fun of the family tie sale and a certain fleet-footed blue hedgehog. Between his success on the big screen and the mouth-watering trailers for his upcoming open-zone adventure, Sonic Frontiers, we really are having ourselves a summer of Sonic. So what a perfect time this would be to pick up Sonic Colors Ultimate. Colors sees Sonic jetting off into space to try and stop that nefarious Dr. Eggman from hatching yet another one of his evil schemes. Blending 3D platforming with the sort of supersonic side-scrolling action that Sonic made his name with, Colors really is a best of both worlds scenario. And it also adds in a group of colourful critters called the Wisps, who, on top of being adorable, give him some sweet new abilities like drilling into the ground and stick to walls. Throw in the Ultimate version's polished HD visuals plus a tasty 40% discount, and you've got the perfect game to tide you over until Frontiers drops.
Sonic and his good buddy Tails also made an appearance in another recent Sega release, Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. This classic party platformer series once again sees you tumbling through all kinds of zany levels, collecting bananas, scoring points, and generally having the sort of good time that can only be achieved with a monkey in a ball. And it's not just Sonic and Tails who are joining the party this time around. Banana Mania's all-star lineup also includes a fearsome feline named Morgana from a JRPG series that Xbox gamers are about to get very familiar with, although we'll have more to say about that in a minute. Plus, Kazuma Kiryu has taken time out from pummeling his way through Japan's criminal underworld to have some monkey ball fun. Although, if you are craving some pure Yakuza action, you'll find a whole bunch of titles on Xbox Game Pass. So whether you're playing as a man or monkey, you'll know they'll be looking their Sunday best in 4K Ultra HD on the Xbox Series X. And whatever you're playing on, Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania is now 35% off.
The Unravel games are family-friendly in the way that most recent Pixar movies are. There's nothing in them to bother kids, but a whole lot that might just have the grown-ups bawling their eyes out. The first of these side-scrolling platformers has you playing as a creature made of red yarn, as they navigate an old woman's house. While you wouldn't expect that to be an especially hazardous environment, it still presents a lot of challenges if you're only the size of an apple. But the house also contains a lot of photographs and other mementos which will slowly allow the player to piece together the story of the old woman's life. It's sort of like playing through the opening montage to Up. The second game is even better for families with young kids because it features a pair of Yarnies and the ability to play in co-op. Plus, it's available on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, courtesy of EA Play, and that's always nice. And if you want the full package, the Unravel bundle is now 80% off.
Next up, we've got the backwards compatibility sale, where we thought we might highlight some of the awesome games from previous generations that you might have missed first time round, like the truly bonkers Asura's Wrath. Look, I can only speak for myself, but if a dude bigger than a planet tried to fight me, I would just accept that I was done. But not this guy, not this game. Sega's 2010 action spectacular Asura's Wrath has you playing as a very angry demigod as he seeks revenge against all the other deities who got on his bad side. In the process, the game swings wildly between straightforward beat-em-up gameplay, rail shooting segments, and interactive cutscenes where you follow button prompts to unleash all sorts of ludicrous violence upon your foes. Now 80% off, the whole thing is just so gloriously over the top that you'd have to actively try not to have a good time.
If you like your third-person action fun with a bit more of a gothic flavour, then here's Castlevania, Lords of Shadow. Stepping away from the classic side-scrolling antics of the series, Lords of Shadow managed to put its own distinctive spin on this new genre thanks to an iconic weapon called the Combat Cross and an ingenious magic system which allows you to funnel your melee combos into healing light or deadly dark magic. It turns hacking and slashing into a deeply tactical conflict where you're constantly switching between defense and offense to keep the enemy at bay. The whole thing also goes down in a gorgeous dark fantasy world that's crawling with trolls, goblins, and giant spiders, as well as the bloodsuckers we're used to seeing the Belmont clan hunting. So if you're looking to keep that proud family tradition going in a whole new era, Lords of Shadow is the way to go. Do your vampire hunting this week, and it will only cost you half the usual price.
See, I told you we'd get back to this. The news that 3 Persona titles are coming to Xbox and PC Game Pass was one of the biggest announcements at this year's showcase. These JRPGs are absolutely beloved, in no small part thanks to their stunning visuals, complex stories, and brilliantly written characters. But what if you want all of that, but with a lot more face kicking? Well then, let me introduce you to Persona 4 Arena. Arena follows on directly from the 4th Persona game and sees our protagonists being sucked into a shady, interdimensional fighting competition. God, don't you just hate when that happens? Still, it makes for a great excuse to unleash those Persona powers all over again. Whether you're a fighting game fan looking for something new, an RPG player looking to take their first steps into the Personaverse, or just someone who really likes good games, this 67% discount is well worth taking advantage of. If you're looking for a slightly more grounded sort of nightmare, then Condemned Criminal Origins could be the way to go. This first-person horror game sees you crawling through the most dangerous parts of a dark and dingy city, going from one condemned building to the next in search of a deadly serial killer. Trying to do good detective work in these sorts of conditions is a real challenge, and that's before people start lurching out of the shadows and attacking you. While the citizens of Metro City seem to be being driven mad by some unexplained influence, the game's AI remains sharp as a tack. The game emphasizes melee combat, and the enemies won't just swing blindly at you, they'll throw feints to throw you off your rhythm, and even run off in search of somewhere to hide if they feel you've got the upper hand. Nearly 17 years after the game's initial release, the experience of creeping through a ruined building with barely enough light to see and the knowledge that a murderous lunatic could be lurking anywhere around hasn't got one iota less terrifying. Although it has gotten more affordable thanks to this week's 75% discount.
Burnout Paradise took the arcade racing series in a fresh new direction by giving players a sunny sandbox to roam around in, and it's a lovely place to be. Just head over to the EA Play collection if you don't believe me. But if you're in no mood to take in the scenery, Burnout Revenge might be more your speed. This classic arcade racer is all about moving fast and breaking stuff, ideally at the same time. From sideswiping your rivals to pinballing other cars into them, and even dropping down out of the air to perform a spectacular vertical takedown. Burnout Revenge is just brimming with ways for you to put even the slickest racers back in their place. As the old saying goes, if you can't beat them, drive a high-powered sports car through them at 200 miles an hour. Best of all, Burnout Revenge can be yours for just half price, easily the cheapest drive you'll take this week.
Last up, we've got a character who was always destined to have their own cult classic, Metal Gear Solid's Raiden. The fair-haired sad boy wasn't immediately a big hit with the fans, but once someone handed him a samurai sword, he was pretty quickly able to carve out his own badass niche. Anyone who doubts that fact should definitely take advantage of this deal on Raiden's very own adventure, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. While Solid Snake had to sneak up on his foes or hunker down beneath a cardboard box, Raiden's sword-fighting skills combined with the odd cybernetic enhancement allowed him to take his enemies head-on, and then to take their heads off. This exhilarating actioner is a long way from the stealthy ways of the mainline Metal Gear games, but it does include the same sort of globe-spanning, conspiracy theory-laden, totally makes sense if you don't really think about it type of storytelling that we've come to know and love. And it's something we might just be getting more of given Hideo Kojima's recent confirmation that he's brewing up something special just for Xbox gamers. Until then, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance's price tag looks must have ticked off Raiden because it's been sliced right in half.
That's a wrap on this week's deals, so go out, grab some sunshine if you can, then come back to sink your teeth into one of these awesome titles. Let us know which ones you've been eyeing up and down in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell before you go. We'll see you next time.